The president tells us that you should view this in a positive light. It's a bit like getting cancer and then dying in a hospital, but it's not all that bad because at least you get out and about and you get to meet people while you're there in the cancer wards.
We should call it for what it is, a blackout. It's not racist, that's just the official term of what we are experiencing here in South Africa. So, who knows? Generation units have broken down in some godforsaken power station that no one knows about. And the president says, this is actually a good thing because it shows that Eskom is fixing the fleet, and therefore we won't have broken down fleets in the future. This reminds me of the time, Byron, when the ex-deputy president, David Mabuza, said load shedding is wonderful because it shows that the economy is growing. I just can't. I'm going to go to my daughter's nursery school, speak to the toddlers about policy because I think there'll be more coherence there than anywhere in the ANC at the moment.
Yeah, but it's the equivalent of today. We learned that apparently the power ships have actually offset their carbon emissions. So, if they come to South Africa and all the pollution they're going to do, it's all been offset. Because what they've done is they bought a game farm and they gave it to the government. And that means no more emissions. I mean, logical.
It just shows the nature of corruption. 200 billion rand contract for power ships. And what do you want in return? Oh, a game farm for like 10 million. But then we're going to say, no, it's not corruption, guys. It's offsetting the emissions. That game farm existed before the power ships were there. So now all of a sudden, because the power ships donated it to the ANC, now that suddenly the emissions are offset. It existed already. As I said, I'd rather go to nursery school and speak to toddlers. Far more coherence.
There's a fine line between deliberate and accidental. And a lot of people are looking at the fuck-ups that the government has made and the way the country's collapsing. They're going, it must be accidental. But at this point, I don't know, man. This is actually almost looking like deliberate sabotage. And then on top of it being deliberate sabotage, we told, but it's a good thing.
If you believe Cyril Ramaphosa in any time, he said he was going to solve load shedding, all the way back in 2015, you are a double moron. But thirdly, and sort of most importantly, if it's sabotage, it's treasonous. If it's not sabotage, these people are too retarded to run a bath. If you let them dictate how you live your life, you are as retarded as they are. I'm tired of the negativity. We run by toddlers with 9mm who don't know what to do with it. That's it.
Yeah, arguably we probably should have actually jumped on board with Zuma's government and just did the whole, corrupting nuclear deal, because at least then we'd have electricity for the next 200 years on electricity. Yeah, all of that's kind of a fact. But what moron believes anything that Cyril has to say? I mean, Cyril's been saying for the last 10 years, I'm going to have load shedding fixed in the next 6 months. And lo and behold, stage 6, stage 8. That's the next thing. It's like, load shedding's a thing of the past. Apart from in the next 2 hours when we're having stage 8 and you're going to have no electricity for the next 2 days. Who believes this guy anymore, man?
No, but that's not the worst part. The worst part is you can't have a light at the end of the tunnel because A, you don't have electricity, but B, there's no positive spin. People are literally dying. Look at this guy on Twitter. He's tied up to oxygen 24/7. As soon as stage 6 hits, he has to go to a government hospital because that's the only place he can get oxygen. Load shedding is killing people. Load shedding is killing profitability of businesses, their capacity to employ new people as well. Look at Pick n Pay. Look at all the retailers. They are spending hundreds of millions of rands every year on diesel for generators. Now, short-term pain for those guys means no extra jobs. It means food shortages. It means literally the decay of the social order. However, the long-term gain is that South Africa really gives the middle finger to the state. Every time you go off-grid, it is a huge fat middle finger to the state. So Cyril won't explain it that way, but in actual fact, load shedding is actually short-term pain. And the long-term gain is a liberated country from the state, because the state can't provide the basics, and people are going to find the basics elsewhere.
I own a restaurant. Mate, I'd love to run the fryers. I'd love to run the stoves on a generator and an inverter. It's not always possible, mate. Some of our equipment requires significant draws of the power grid. I can put in a generator there, like my coffee machine. You have any idea how much wattage a coffee machine pulls? I need to have ESCOM for certain equipment. An ice machine pulls, mate, like there's no tomorrow. So the net result is I can have no ice for fucking Coke. Who the fuck wants to drink a Coke with no fucking ice? Tastes like shit. Tastes like coffee mixture without ice. It's like it's cuck. How much electricity do I need for a draft machine? Like simple things. Like people don't realize that. But when you start getting to places like a hospital where you have to do things like x-rays, scans, MRIs, what do you reckon the draw on that shit is? You reckon you compare it with your Ryobi KVA inverter or your Ryobi little generator? Not gonna fucking work. You need the electricity grid fixed. So there were some suggestions on how to do this. One was let's get some electricity from Mozambique. We didn't get that. Another was let's have a new blended solution and create a new energy program. But we've now fucked that bill up in Parliament because there's no appetite from the government. And the government's result is, oh, well, what we need to, I don't know, power ships. And then we've got a game farm to offset the carbon. But it's a good thing. And these guys are fucking retarded.